Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into something that, well, it kind of acts like the unsung hero of the digital world, making sure your favorite apps stay up and running smoothly even when things, go wrong. We're talking about Kubernetes liveness and readiness probes. Think of this as maybe a shortcut to understanding how these critical applications maintain their reliability, their availability, especially in such a dynamic environment. Our mission here really is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge about these essential tools. Let's try a hook. Imagine a doctor checking a patient's pulse. That's one kind of check, right? Essential. Then picture a gatekeeper making absolutely sure someone is truly ready for duty before they start working. That's another kind, these two ideas. That's pretty much exactly what we're exploring today with liveness and readiness probes in Kubernetes.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, I think, is how these checks, which seem pretty simple on the surface, proactively manage container health. You probably don't even realize it, but they're preventing errors and delays for you constantly, every day, like when you're shopping online or even just checking your bank balance. They're working in the background.
Right, the silent guardians. So by the end of this, our goal is for you to have a really clear understanding of what these probes are, and crucially, why they matter so much for application reliability, and how they actually work behind the scenes. We'll get into some of the finer points too, the things that can really make them effective or not. So, okay, let's jump right in. We know they're fundamental in Kubernetes for monitoring application health, basic tools. But maybe for someone just getting familiar, how would you really distinguish between a liveness and a readiness probe? What's the core
Yeah.
difference?
Good question. Fundamentally, they both help Kubernetes figure out if a container is, well, not just alive, but also ready to actually serve traffic. A liveness probe, that's your doctor checking the pulse. That analogy works well. It's checking, is this container still running? Is it fundamentally healthy? And if that probe fails, Kubernetes acts decisively. It assumes the container is unhealthy. Maybe it's crashed, maybe it's stuck in a loop, and it will restart it. Try to fix it automatically.
Okay, yeah, the doctor analogy really clicks there for me. That immediate intervention. So, like, if a web server container crashes because it ran out of memory, something like that, the liveness probe sees it's not responding and bam, triggers a restart,
Yeah.
like an automatic defibrillator for the container.
Exactly, precisely. Now, the Readiness Probe, that's a different beast. That's your gatekeeper. It checks if a container is truly ready to handle incoming requests or traffic. If this probe fails, Kubernetes is smart. It stops sending traffic to that specific container. It essentially pulls it out of the rotation, the load balancer, until it signals that it's actually ready again.
Ah, the gatekeeper. Totally works. Makes perfect sense. Nobody gets through until they're fully prepared. I'm thinking about, say, a database container. It might be running, so the liveness probe is happy, but maybe it's still starting up initializing its schemas or, I don't know, recovering from some temporary glitch. The readiness probe keeps traffic away until it says, okay, I'm stable now.
Exactly. So you can see how both are pretty indispensable for things like web servers, APIs, databases. They ensure reliability and, importantly, proper load balancing.
Okay, this brings us to a really crucial point then.
Right.
Why? Why are they so indispensable? I mean, containers, they're designed to be pretty robust, aren't they? What could really go wrong that needs this level of constant watching?
Well, yeah, they are robust, but even in these containerized environments, things can still go sideways. Definitely. Containers can hit deadlocks, they can run out of memory, the OM killer strikes, or sometimes they just have unexpectedly slow startup times. They might be alive technically, but just not ready to handle any real load. And these kinds of issues can seriously impact application reliability and ultimately the user experience. Liveness and readiness probes let Kubernetes proactively monitor and manage all of that. It takes the burden off operations.
Proactively. That feels like the key word there. So what are the main benefits we're getting by putting these probes in place? What's the payoff?
Okay, several critical benefits. Let's start with liveness probes. The big one is automatic recovery. They detect when a container is unhealthy, truly broken, and automatically trigger that restart. This automates the recovery process completely. It significantly cuts downtime without anyone having to manually step in. That's a huge win for operations. Oh, absolutely huge, especially when you scale up, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about managing hundreds, maybe thousands of containers, doing that manually, forget it. a nightmare.
Exactly. Then, for readiness probes, the primary benefit is more about intelligent traffic management. They make sure that only containers that are both healthy and fully ready actually receive user traffic. This stops users from hitting containers that are, say, still booting up or maybe struggling with a temporary issue that would just lead to frustrating errors or, long delays.
Definitely improve reliability them across the
That
board.
makes sense.
I've also heard they contribute to efficient resource use, and they can significantly simplify operations too. They absolutely do. On resource use, readiness probes stop Kubernetes sending traffic to containers that aren't ready. This makes load balancing much smarter, much more efficient. It also helps prevent cascading failures, where one struggling container drags others down. And for operations, yeah, by automating all this health monitoring, these probes cut down the need for lots of external monitoring tools or people constantly watching dashboards. It just makes managing large-scale distributed applications much, much easier. And here's something often overlooked. Fine-tuning these can actually help reduce cloud costs. By preventing unnecessary restarts or stopping traffic to flaky instances, you avoid resource churn and maybe even over-provisioning just to handle unreliable containers.
That's a really interesting point about cost. Hadn't quite thought of it that way. It sounds like without them, things could get messy and, yeah, expensive pretty fast.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. Without liveness probes, Kubernetes wouldn't know when to restart those unhealthy containers. That could mean prolonged downtime or just awful performance. And without readiness probes, users would inevitably get routed to containers that aren't ready. Errors, delays, bad experience. Both scenarios really harm reliability and, well, user satisfaction. Go back to that e-commerce example. If the container handling payments crashes, the liveness probe makes sure it gets restarted automatically. Your transaction doesn't just fail silently.
Right. And the readiness probe makes sure that maybe the product catalog container, which might take a while to load all its data when it starts up, it ensures it doesn't get your request until it's fully ready.
Yeah.
You avoid those moments where the page half loads or just shows nothing. Super frustrating. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. That seems pretty clear. But the real magic, I suppose, is in the how. How do these probes actually do their job behind the scenes? What does the configuration look like? How does Kubernetes use them?
Right. So they're defined directly inside a pod's configuration file, the YAML file usually. That's like the blueprint for your application's deployment. Kubernetes, specifically the kubelet agent running on each node, reads this configuration, and then it periodically runs these defined probes to check the health or the readiness of the containers running on its node. Each probe performs a specific test, and based on whether that test succeeds or fails, Kubernetes decides what to do: restart it for liveness or manage traffic for readiness.
And what kind of tests can they do? I guess there's more than one way to check if an application is healthy, right?
You're right. There are three common ways, three probe types you can configure. First, probably the most common for web services is an HTTP probe. This sends an HTTP GET request to a specific path on your container, say health or Redis. It expects a successful HTTP status code back. Usually anything in the 200-399 range means success. Then there's a TCP probe. This one's simpler. It just tries to open a TCP connection to a specific port on the container. If the connection opens, it's considered a success, good for non-HTTP services. And finally, there's a command probe. Kubernetes runs a specific command inside the container. If the command exits with a status code of 0, that's success. Anything else is a failure. Useful for checks that need internal logic. A really critical piece of advice here, though. Make sure your probe endpoints, especially HTTP ones like health or ready, are lightweight. Really lightweight. They shouldn't be doing heavy database queries or complex calculations themselves. Because if the check itself is complex and fails, you might restart a perfectly healthy container. Keep the checks simple and fast.
That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, you don't want the check itself to become the bottleneck or a point of failure. Good tip. So, okay, let's say you have a liveness probe checking a web server's health endpoint every 10 seconds. What happens when it actually fails? Like, say it fails 3 times in a row.
So Kubernetes runs that liveness probe based on the schedule you set, the period. If it fails repeatedly and you define how many failures count as too many with the failure threshold setting, Kubernetes takes action. For a liveness probe, that action is to restart the container. So if your health endpoint returns a 500 error 3 times consecutively and your failure threshold is 3, Kubernetes kills that container and starts a new one, hoping it comes up healthy.
Got it. Restart for liveness failure. And what about the readiness probe? What's the behavior when that one fails?
For readiness, it's a bit different. Kubernetes runs the readiness probe periodically too. If it fails, even just once, depending on the threshold, the container is immediately marked as not ready. Kubernetes then stops sending new traffic to it. It takes it out of the service's list of active endpoints. effectively removing it from the load balancer. Crucially, it doesn't restart it. It just waits. Once the probe starts succeeding again, maybe the initialization finished or a temporary network issue resolved, Kubernetes automatically marks it as ready again. Then it adds it back to the load balancer and it starts receiving traffic again. It's quite graceful.
Okay, that makes sense. It gracefully takes it out and puts it back in.
Huh.
It really sounds like there's a lot of flexibility here to fine-tune these checks for your specific application. What are some of those key configuration options you mentioned that let you control exactly how they behave?
Absolutely, you can tailor them quite precisely. A few key ones, there's the initial delay seconds. This is super important. It's the time Kubernetes waits after the container starts before it even runs the first probe. You need this to give your application time to actually initialize without immediately failing probes just because it's not ready yet.
Right, so it doesn't get marked as failed before it even has a chance.
Exactly. Then you have the period seconds. That's simply how often Kubernetes should run the probe check, like every 10 seconds, every 30 seconds. And critically, there's the failure threshold. We touched on this. It's the number of consecutive failed checks before Kubernetes decides to take action. So restart for liveness or mark is not ready for readiness. There's also a success threshold, mainly for readiness, to determine how many successes are needed to mark it ready again after being not ready, and timeout seconds for how long to wait for a probe response.
So finding the right balance seems key, like check too often and you add overhead. Set the failure threshold too high and you delay recovery.
Precisely. It's a bit of an art, really. Too frequent a period can burden the application and the node. Too high a failure threshold might mean users experience issues for longer before the system reacts. Finding that sweet spot often involves understanding your specific application startup time, how quickly it recovers from glitches, and its overall stability profile. Experimentation helps.
Okay, so a readiness probe, for example, might wait, say, 30 seconds after the container starts before its first check, initial delay seconds. Then maybe check every 5 seconds, period seconds, and only mark the container as not ready if it fails, maybe 2 checks in a row. Failure threshold, too. It really paints a picture of these probes as like the silent architects keeping everything robust and user-friendly behind the scenes.
They absolutely are. You have the Liveness Probe acting as that constant health monitor, the doctor, restarting containers when they're fundamentally broken. And then the Readiness Probe is like that meticulous gatekeeper, ensuring only containers that are truly ready and capable actually handle user requests. This combination, when configured well, significantly improves both the user experience by preventing errors and the overall system efficiency by automating these crucial health checks and enabling intelligent traffic routing.
So wrapping things up a bit, what does this all really mean for you, the listener? We've journeyed through the intricacies of Kubernetes liveness and readiness probes, from their basic definitions, why they matter, to how they work and how you can tweak them.
Yeah, and if we zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights how modern distributed systems rely on automation for crucial health checks, often in ways we don't even see. These probes truly are the silent guardians. They make sure that even if individual parts fail or struggle, the overall application, the service you're using, stays available and performs well. And it goes beyond just recovery, right? These probes are also a silent enabler of things like faster deployment cycles. Developers can push code more confidently knowing that health checks will gracefully integrate the new version, or importantly, quickly roll it back if something's wrong.
Definitely. So remember that mental image we started with. The Liveness probe is the doctor restarting a sick container. It's about basic survival. And the Readiness probe is the gatekeeper, making sure only the ready containers, the ones fit for duty, receive your traffic. It's about fitness for service. Together, they are fundamental to keeping your digital interactions smooth and reliable. They simplify operations, no doubt, they dramatically improve reliability, and they optimize resource use by automating recovery and managing traffic intelligently, all to prevent errors and delays for you.
And this maybe raises an important question to ponder, When you think about all the services you rely on every single day, streaming, email, shopping, banking, everything, how much of their seamless operation, that feeling that it just works, is actually due to these invisible layers of automation? Things like these probes constantly monitoring, constantly self-healing in the background.
It really does make you appreciate the incredible, often invisible engineering that's powering our digital world, doesn't it? Keep asking those questions. Keep digging deeper into how things work. And we'll be here to help you unpack it all.